Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters Encounters video. I thought I would share yet another scary Skinwalkers encounters here for you. These still get a good number of views, people still seem to be interested in them, and I still enjoy talking about them here, so I thought why not? Why not showcase another one here? This one is pretty scary. It happened to a user that I had several situations with this Skinwalker over multiple nights, and it comes from this time the reddit.com website. They're from a different subreddit called Cryptid Encounters. So it could be a Skinwalker or it could be a cryptid. I'm still siding with the former rather than the latter, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it afterward. The user doesn't even have an ID. It looks like they were there, but then they were deleted afterward, or who knows, maybe they decided to be anonymous on this, but they aptly titled theirs as Skinwalker Urgent. So let's go ahead and let's share their information here, and then once again I'll give my own thoughts and opinions on it afterward. Still pretty scary stuff. So here's what they stated. This goes back several days/months, and I saw what I thought was a dog or wolf's feet running down the road. Couldn't see if it was dog or wolf because of the blinds. So 1 to 3 days later, at certain times during the day and night, it would sound like something would jump up and crawl over the ventilation unit next to my house. So I looked outside and nothing was there. So I got suspicious, especially because there was no one near the unit, and it would have taken them a long time to get away because I looked at it immediately through my bedroom window that is 1 to 2 feet away from it to my left. And then also at night, the noises would come from multiple sides of the house. Originally, I thought it was raccoons. And so 1 to 3 days later, friends that I invited over were now complaining about smells like rotting fish/flesh. And then 1 to 3 days later after that, the smell went away on its own. And that night, I accidentally stayed up to 2:30 a.m. And I had this feeling to get out of my room and to make myself hidden. So I decided to do it because I was bored. I got out of my room and hid behind the wall connecting my room to the kitchen. All of a sudden, there was this huge bang against the wall next to my window in my room, the same exact place my feeling had told me to avoid. And so I froze in fear in my kitchen as I heard those sounds of loud bangs, the sounds of running, and then the sounds of trash cans falling all over around my house, including on the roof. And so I managed to make myself move to get to my computer and frantically research about what the F was going on. And so I found out, according to the source, that they are most frequently seen as coyotes, wolves, foxes, eagles, owls, and crows. My grandmother also saw a coyote/wolf when she was coming over to visit me. I also heard that they smell like things rotting because of their flesh, and that they try to break into the house or harass you by doing most of the noises that I listed. These creatures were trying to lure me outside the whole time I was researching by mimicking a woman's voice. Today, the smell is back, and I don't know how to ward them off. And then that's it. That's everything that they mentioned again in their brief, but still scary encounters. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here. For starters, it's anonymous, not just on the ID, but the location. So unfortunately, no way to trace exactly if this was, let's say, like on Navajo land or in the middle of somewhere that you wouldn't normally expect this type of situation to happen. But yes, clearly something was causing a huge amount of ruckus, scary ruckus, like it almost knew that it was causing this to make whoever was inside absolutely scared about the situation surrounding them, and it didn't care. It was doing it obviously that first night or first couple of days when it would go around the house and it would make noise. It would jump from one place to another, and then it would also go towards multiple sides of the house itself, that ventilation unit and so on. That's the kind of stuff that would freak me out because you wouldn't have any idea where it's at next unless you happen to go outside, but obviously one would be just absolutely scared to do so. And then the next step would be this, that rotting fish/flesh smell. That doesn't sound bad at first, but just imagine that. Imagine it being throughout your entire household, like say in your bedroom, or let's say you're in your kitchen, or maybe in the living room, and it won't go away. And it seems like it's being created by this thing. If it truly was a skinwalker. It knows that it's making this smell, and it knows that people are smelling it. It's causing it to be just really, really bad. The worst part, though, was that other third encounter. Talk about the heebie-jeebies on that. Imagine being so, not paranoid, but almost omnipresent about something bad happening. Like you almost know that tonight's the night. And then it's almost so much so that this dude actually knew that it was going to happen in the wall right behind him when he was in the bedroom. And so that's when he decided to leave. When I'm reading stories like this, I could totally visualize and then also empathize in my head what is happening to that person. The idea that, let's say you're just chillaxing in your bedroom, and then you get that eerie feeling behind you, behind the wall itself, like you know you have to get out of there. Like something bad is about to happen in moments. You don't know what it is, but you have to get out. That's what I was empathizing with this guy right here, because as he rightly predicted, all of a sudden these huge bangs came from behind that wall. And the impression I got was it seemed to be like it was within the wall itself, maybe, as opposed to being, let's say, within the outside of the wall. And then there he was within an area that he would normally not be. In this case, it was, what did he say, against the wall next to his window by his room, just kneeling down, just pretty much like head to knees, just bowing his head down, trying to cower and hide as much as possible, as whatever this thing was essentially just running amok outside, throwing garbage cans around, making things fall around the house, knowing that it was absolutely just creating this havoc. But the worst part for me was this, that woman's voice, that mimicking that it does. We've chronicled that here on this channel before, right? How these things seem to mimic voices, either voices of children, of babies, or even people that they know. Like, in other words, friends, family members, spouses as well. The idea that they mimic those voices to try to catch someone outside, and then who knows what else that they'll do to that person. That's essentially what this thing was doing. Oh, that's scary stuff too. Especially the way he was ending it with how all of a sudden the smell is back, and it seems like it was going to be something else happening to him. I tried to see if there was an updated story too, because this was something that was written by this anonymous user more than 2 years ago. But the fact that they deleted themselves or they kept themselves anonymous shows that I can't research and go back and try to see if there was further updates. That just seems to be almost like a cliffhanger of sorts. So we just have to leave it to our imagination to see essentially what's happening next. But otherwise, scary stuff. It goes to show again, if you think you're in a bad place, let's say you're having a bad day at work, or let's say at school, or found out some bad news of something else, just imagine that you could be in this situation here, and this poor dude, wherever he lives, having this type of stuff happening around him. Scary stuff. But if anybody has any more info, anything else I might have missed on this, then please post those comments below. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.